In September 2023, 47 members of the Elgeyo-Marakwet County Assembly traveled to the East African Legislative Assembly in Arusha, Tanzania, at a cost of 16.6 million shillings. Purpose of the visit? To benchmark, I suppose, on best practices of legislation. In less than a week, each of the travelers cost the people of Elgeyo-Marakwet some 354,000 shillings. A year later, what has been the impact of that visit? And is the Parliament of Kenya so bad that MCAs cannot travel to Nairobi to benchmark? And staying in the same county, a member of the County Assembly traveled to Dubai to attend training on, hear this, building smart cities at the cost of 1.6 million shillings. A year later, what has been the impact of smart cities training in the cities, towns and villages of Elgeyo-Marakwet? You see, between July 2023 and June 2024, county governments and county assemblies made up to 115 visits to Dubai in the United Arab Emirates, each trip taking between 1 and 10 officials. There were nearly 30 trips to the US made by varying numbers of county officials. And there was an interesting one. A member of the Kakamega County Executive Committee traveled to Seattle, the capital of the Washington state in the US. What for, you may ask? Wait for it. To attend, quote, the Luhya community official meeting. I mean it. I read it in the Controller's report. To attend a Luhya meeting in Washington at a cost of 1.35 million shillings. Well, I appreciate that communities can be global, but really? One person to the US to attend an official meeting of a community that is largely domiciled in their home county and country? Another 6 MCAs from Baringo went to Singapore at the cost of 4.9 million shillings, spending a week being taught on adaptable leadership and decision-making workshop. Indeed, very important skills for any leader in a fast-evolving world where poverty threatens to deny children education and access to basic services. And we also learn that at least 15 legislators traveled to Istanbul, Turkey, for a 2-day course. The title was Mastering People Management and Team Leadership. Now, the last day of the course was dedicated to personal effectiveness, time management, and delegation. And yes, time management is critical. It is important to note that they were there for a week for a 2-day course. Talk about time. And recently, an MP who was at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport on a day aviation workers were on strike told the media how she was stranded. She was traveling to South Africa on a Thursday for an event that was kicking off 4 days later on a Monday, ostensibly traveling early to go handle accreditation issues. For 4 days? The counties in total spent over 2 billion shillings on foreign travel. What would 2 billion shillings do? 2 billion shillings is sufficient to sponsor 544 medical students from first year to year 6, making them doctors. And if the 2 billion shillings must be spent in the same year, it would be sufficient to sponsor 3,267 medical students in a year, each at the highest course cost of 612,000 shillings. If JSS intern teachers earn a salary of 20,000 shillings per month, 2 billion shillings would be sufficient to pay 8,333 of them for a year. Please note, JSS teachers will not be confirmed into permanent and pensionable bases until January 2025 because the government lacks some 13 billion shillings. The travel expenditure of 45 billion shillings would finance that budget hole by more than 3 times. If 2 billion shillings is to be spent by counties on foreign travel, if 45 billion shillings is to be spent by the national and county governments for both domestic and foreign travel, it must make sense, at least to those footing the bill. in this case, the taxpayers. Otherwise, counties should heed the advice of the Control of Budget and, quote, minimize traveling costs by holding activities within the county headquarters. Sensible, right?